Okay, so section 4.6, we're going to talk about the metric system. In the metric system, you'll hear words like millimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer. That's how we'd measure length. In the mass department, that's measuring the weight of something. Milligram, gram, kilograms. You actually use those a lot in science. And then capacity, that's how much something can hold, or you might hear the word volume. And those are milliliters, liters, and kiloliters. Okay, you don't actually, I don't think I've ever used the word kiloliter in my life as in far as actual usage. So you are going to use the most appropriate, you're going to choose the most appropriate metric unit for each measurement, justify your answer. They give you benchmarks here, okay? So let's think we're measuring the length, and we're going to measure the length of a car. Would you use millimeters, centimeters, meters, or kilometers? What do you guys think? Meters. I would agree with you, because a centimeter is really small and a kilometer is really big, so meters would be the best choice. Okay, the mass of a skateboard. So do you think a skateboard is closer to a grain of sand, a small paperclip, or a textbook? Textbook. I would say textbook as well, so kilogram. And the reason why, it's because it's closer to a gram is pretty small, really. Okay, the recommended dose of cough syrup. So cough syrup is a capacity like a liquid. And so would you use milliliter, liter, or kiloliter? So cough syrup, do you think you're going to take a water bottle's worth of it? No, the milliliter, yep. And then the mass of a pencil eraser. So mass, again, is how much something weighs. Grain of sand, paper clips, or textbook. Yeah, I think you could go either way, but I would say that a milligram is probably a better measurement. Okay, so in converting from one unit to another, you can, I don't know, there's people disagree or they have different ways of doing this. I like to use a conversion factor or like a unit proportion like we did yesterday. So if we have to go 510 centimeters, I'm going to do one each way. To meters, I would multiply it by the relationship between meters and centimeters. So I know that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. This always goes over 1. So this is using a conversion factor. So 510 times 1 is 510. 1 times 100. And then when you divide, we get 5.1. Okay, so that's one way to do it. We could also use the proportion like we did yesterday. So I'm going to do that one over here. 510 centimeters, how many meters is that? Well, if there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter, 510 times 1 divided by 100 is going to give you the same answer. Now, the reason why I hesitate to teach you both of these at the same time is because when we set up multiplying, our labels have to cancel. When I set up using a proportion, we want the ratio or the same labels across from each other. And so I try not to get you confused. When you only have to go from one factor to another, I really do like the proportion, okay? But as we go into our next lesson, we're going to be using these conversion factors. So you can use whichever one makes the most logical sense for you. I do not care. But I'm trying not to confuse you as well. Okay, so we're going to go from liters to milliliters. So there are 1,000 milliliters in a liter. Which method do you guys like? Do you know yet? You like the proportion? Okay. So let's do the proportion on this one. So we want to know 2.3 liters is how many milliliters? So there, in 1 liter, there are 1,000 milliliters. So then 1,000 times 2.3 divided by 1. And our answer is 2,300 milliliters. Okay, our next one, centiliters. I think that there is 100. I don't know this one off the top of my head. Let's see if it's on my, well, centa means 100. So I am going to assume we want to know how many liters there are. In 1 centiliter, there are 100 liters. Okay. Oh wait, this should be an X. How many liters? So then 530 times 100 divided by 1 gives you 53012. Sorry, I really should have made this paper more spread out. I think I tried to just cram it all in one page. Okay, the next one is grams to milligrams. So I want to know how many milligrams is this going to be. So there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. So 1,000 times 1,070 equals 1,070,123. 1,070,000 milligrams. So far, so good? Now, if you guys are concerned about not remembering your conversions, I put this in here, and it does give you a lot of the conversions. Okay, and a couple of the sayings. Kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centa, milla. So it gives you some of those. And then it also gives you, I don't know, some people say the science teachers teach this. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. And so it's like a way to move your decimal too. I didn't ever learn that, but you can definitely use that as a reference. Okay. So that's not an actual worksheet, that's just for your reference. So now these I try to use more using that proportion. This one we're going to use unit conversions to make comparisons. So it says, Mai and Brian are measuring the mass of rocks with their earth science class. Mai's rock has a mass of 480 grams and Brian's rock has a mass of 0.5 kilogram. Whose rock has a greater mass and how much greater? So in order to compare, they have to be in the same unit. So we can either go from grams to kilograms or kilograms to grams. What do you guys want to do? You want to go to grams? Okay, so let's take this and change it to grams. So we want to know how many grams. So we know that there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So then we can take and multiply and divide by 1. Just going to double check to make sure I put my decimal point in the right spot. So times 1,000, and this gives us 50. Okay, so Mai's rock has 480 grams. Brian's rock is 50, so who's bigger? Mai's rock's bigger. By how much? 480 minus 50?
430.
We just subtracted. So they have to be in the same unit of measurement in order to compare. Okay, on Sunday, Lee ran 0.8 kilometers. On Monday, she ran 720 kilometers. On which day did Lee run further, and how much further? So do you want it in kilometers or meters?
You can't see.
Oh no, I have low battery. It does not matter which way you go. Just make sure that you get them in the same unit. So you guys want to go to what? Meters. Okay. So we're going to take the 0.8 kilometers. We want to know what is that going to be in meters. So I put an X there. I know that there are 1,000. Oops, sorry, wrong way. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Notice I put the meters in the bottom because I'm setting up a proportion. So 0.8 times 1,000 divided by 1 is 800. So on Sunday, she ran 800 meters. On Monday, she ran 720. Which day did she run farther? Yep, she ran further on Sunday. How much further? 80 meters further. Okay. Okay, so that is all for your notes.